We don't even talk.
Hey, Mom! That's adorable, sweetie.
We message each other telepathically. Everything is interconnected. Yet, everyone is disconnected. Some people even break away and live lost in a reality of their own creation. Their data, energy, and subservience, that's enough for the government to justify their existence.
We were on Sci-Fi, and this is totally a horror film. I loved it. I was truly engaged the whole time. It has an extraordinary plot, amazing special effects, performances, the music, and the locations. All great. I love the script, and they have an outstanding twist that it is both super creepy and 100% plausible. So this is why I say it's a horror, but also a sci-fi with outstanding special effects. This is an excellent job. I really liked it.
Surfaces a lot of the concerns that we have about the growing technology in modern times, whether or not it is going to take over, not necessarily in the hostile robots killing us sense, but more in the take over our everyday lives and take away from us some of the monotony that we might take for granted. And I think that's beautifully explored in this piece. It really is. And the set design and whole aesthetic and special effects used really help bring home the messages that are being explored through the themes. So it's a very much accomplishment of everyone who's worked on this film, from the writing to the design. It is a great piece of sci-fi.
I think it had some good points to make, and it made those very effectively about, society today. And, they always say good sci-fi comments on society now, you know what I'm saying? Real life society, like good sci-fi can be like satire for a real life society. So I think this artificial existence nailed that part. I think I really like the lighting in here and the color story with like all the matching like different colors in the same frame. I think y'all pulled that off. That just looked nice aesthetically. I mean, that was a good choice. I also like the twist at the end about like she was in the simulation the whole time. That genuinely caught me off guard, and I really like that choice. So good
This
job.
was a very eerie foray into what seems like a not too distant future of tech addicted, tech entwined, AI dominated future, that is. And just getting to see how AI impacts the life, starting from the domestic sphere, which I thought was really smart. What does a typical night look like at home? And talking to each other, not vocally, but through brains, and being immersed in screens. And then taking us on what a day-to-day future looked like, with from the coffee being made to implanted operating systems and the billboards trying to entice you to upgrade your operating system at every step. It was very convincing and deeply explored world building. I thought they did brilliantly with all the locations, the technology. It all felt very believable. Yet it still left space for the viewer to ruminate on what their life would look like, and the emotional roller coaster of the potential escape from it. So it wasn't overly fast paced, which I liked. I thought it was really efficient storytelling, but I did love that I had that space to put myself in that world and feel what that emotional impact would be. And there was a lot of fear and apprehension.
This was really telling, with the current societal landscape. This concept of giving up humanity for societal acceptance and popularity and monetary gain and social standing. I think it's really something that we're on the verge of, with the use of our phones and the constant upgrades and technology, and how much it's become ingrained in our lives. And I think this is a really interesting perspective on that, and a really interesting take on what are we willing to give up of our human existence, of our own individual thought, before we all become this, motherboard of data for the powers that be to just examine and use at their will, and have us work underneath their will as well. I do have one note. It sometimes the audio quality wasn't great, and I had a little bit of difficulty hearing what was going on in some of the scenes. There was like a slight echo, but other than that, it was a really moving and thoughtful piece, and I think it added just like enough sci-fi ish, imagery to make it more so as like a telling fable than like reality, like an impending doom. So I think that's really important as well. So overall, very, very good job.
So much relevancy to what we're seeing today. And it draws this really scary, realistic dystopia that we could be falling into. I like how it usually, a lot of the time, you see like dystopias drawn as like a post-World War III, post-economic collapse, like climate collapse. That's common, but in this dystopia, it's like the real world. Capitalism is intact. People are still living, and some people are actually content with the way things are. And it almost perfectly mirrors the world now. The set design is really, really smart. You don't see things falling apart. It is just separated enough from reality so that we can see it's a different world, but it's close enough to the real world that we see a really strong connection. They do a really good job of establishing the character's voice and kind of her place, and your closeness to her right in the beginning when you're kind of with her in her isolation, as you're getting this internal monologue and seeing how she's interacting with the AI, and her being an AI architect, as they call it, which is also a really smart term for this. Just there's so many little details that add to the world building that are just really smart, but she's seeing these changes firsthand, and she doesn't want to be affected by them. And she knows how hard it is to leave behind. There's a quote, "You can only climb the ladder if you sell your soul." And it rings true today. The writing is absolutely beautiful. Every line from this is quotable. And it is all, you can take any one of them and apply it to life now, and it is relevant, which is really scary. There's a quote, "Everything is interconnected, but everyone is disconnected." And I feel like that's so true. And the way that the AI is designed, it's just kind of a more concrete, literal, clear way of drawing out the way that technology is now. The need for constant contact and how damaging it can be, and what it can do to people and relationships, and how technology ties us down to one place, and how it kind of infiltrates our mind, and there's no time to connect with ourselves. And her new life when her and her son run away, you can finally feel the home. The color grading is different. It's this warmth that wasn't in the initial shot. So many of them were at night with these like LED like blue lights. It's just this and then she finally gets out there, the needle going on to the vinyl record, and her washing dishes. You feel this freedom, and then that's taken away at the end. That quick shot of her, you see it's VR. That hit me so hard. I thought this film was absolutely incredible. They did such a good job with it. I've been talking for a long time about it. I realize that now, but it was great. You get that trap feeling back at the ending. It is so real, so relevant, and I absolutely loved it.
This one totally got me. There were multiple twists and really got me. I think also what was so eerie and so creepy about this is that it didn't feel like super distant future. A lot of the themes of like government surveillance, alienation because of engagement with technology rather than engagement with the people around you, medicating to feel a certain way. Like all of those themes are stuff that we are currently facing as humans living in this moment of history. But this took all of those things and just bumped them up a notch to a point where it was very unsettling. And like I said, the twist, I was totally caught me off guard and made me recoil in horror. So yeah, very super effective film. I thought the writing in this film really pulled me in. And yeah, I think the proximity to what we're going through and the relevant themes is really what made this story so effective.